so grateful for the recap video that allows us to review all the sharing and the inspiration. And welcome to join us in this inspiring morning. Thank you so much. So it's a sharing from the teachers, and we invited last month, and they give us their story about they have learned from Tzu-Chi in the past 30 years or maybe more. So this is another teacher that give us her wonderful sharing. And those beautiful flowers we going to sell, and then we collect the money and then donate it to Tzu-Chi Foundation. So thank you so much, and we encourage each other to talk about Tzu-Chi. We uphold our aspiration and diligently read the Dharma teaching. And this is the team member who make those recap video for us. Thank you very much. And every week we have to recommend there is a very good movies that we can watch on TV. So in July, you can see there are some inspiring story that we can watch every Sunday. And so like Jing Aphorism said that irrespective of our longevity, it will be a beautiful life as long as we spread good thoughts and actions. And again, we have to remind ourselves that Master Zheng's ideal talents are those who are humble but not arrogant, with self-esteem, and cultivate with virtue. We love people unselfishly, and we have open-minded, and we can control over our temper, and we work hard and harmoniously with all the people. We show our good manner on speeches and actions. So with those characters, Master Zheng will feel relief. And so we wish that everyone can be Master Zheng's ideal talent. So with those characters, Master Zheng will give her thumbs up. So if you sit next to your friend, or if our company, please show the same gesture to her or to him to say thank you, to accompany me to the online study group, and you are so great. So today is the first week of the month, and so next I would like to introduce our interpretation team. And Master Zheng gave us her blessing and to encourage us to recruit more talents and to do the different language on interpretation. Also can do more different language in the written translation. So today is the first week of the month. Then we have English, Cantonese, Cambodia, Malay, and Taiwanese interpretation. So on the screen, this slide was showing all the team members from Kaohsiung interpretation team. So thank you for those sisters and brothers' dedication to give us their interpretation. And this is the team members for the Cantonese interpretation. Some was from Malaysia, some are from Australia, and from Hong Kong. So at the same time, we also have the Cambodia interpretation. And they are very outstanding. They always give us a very good and wonderful interpretation. And this is a Malay team member who doing the Malay translation interpretation. So some from Malaysia and some are Australia. And we also have the Hakka. Hakka translation. So thank you for the sisters and the brothers, those 7 team members. And then also we have a Taiwanese. And now I would like to share feedback from Sister Xue Yu. And the topic that she wrote is, this is a special test for the online study group. So on May 27, we have an online dialogue with Master Zheng. And during the section, there was a glitch problem in Kaohsiung. So the sharing from Kaohsiung had to stop, and team members still on the stage had to wait for about a half hour until the technical problem was solved. But no one complained, only feel grateful. And that day, there were so many things happen, but I'm glad that Sister Xue Yu wrote it down and gave us the feedback. So every week, we always have the technical problem, and this is a challenge for all the team members, but we always try our best and to solve the problem. Yeah, so many team members, even they have to stay on the stage for so long, and they didn't complain anything. They only feel grateful. And by the end of the section, we set up to take a group photo with Master Zheng when she showed on the screen and give her teaching. But when we were ready, unexpectedly, there was someone else to give her sharing instead of Master Zheng. So again, every one of them, we have to stay on the stage for another half hour until her sharing finished and until Master Zheng showed on the screen and give her teaching. Because of Xue Yu's feedback and say, so I can really understand what happened at that day. And with unity and work harmoniously, we walk out and finish the dialogue section with Master Zheng. So eventually, we passed the special test. So earlier, I already introduced the team member of Taiwanese interpretation team. This is the second week of the month. We'll provide a Hakka interpretation. And so thank you for those sisters and brothers' dedication. And some of them will only provide the interpretation during the winter and the summer recess. But still, we appreciate their contribution. And then this is the team member from Hakka, but those members are from Malaysia. So again, sisters and brothers' dedication, we really appreciate your good work. So this is our common goal, and we encourage each other. So on the slide, no matter where we are, we always work hard together, because work hard together will make us feel better, and we will not feel lonely, and because we have the same comment and the same faith, so we can work out everything. And now next, we go into the next section. We're going to review all the messages that we received from last week. So please give us your feedback. Those feedback are always very inspiring and encourage us. So last week we have totally 198 messages received, and we passed for resharing 149 times. So first of all, you can see those are the feedback on the teamwork. Someone said that although the whole family was confirmed to have the COVID-19 cases and we have to stay at home, unfortunately, we can get an online study group to receive some of the positive feedback. And at the same time, we also have the feedback from Malaysia. And you are very important to us. Thank you. And now we have the feedback on the Sister Tzu-Chi, the CEO of a Tzu-Chi chapter in Dominica. And he said that Sister Tzu-Chi is remarkable. Even there were so many difficulties, and it is very blessing that she was inspired by the Master Zheng. And the feedback from all the participants are very inspiring. And Li Hanwen from Jiayi, he said that on the Bodhisattva path, although we are facing so many difficulties, but if we uphold our aspiration, we can always overcome the problems. And now let's take a look on the feedback. Let's look at the feedback we received for the guiding reading from Xue Yu. Education brings hope, and during the pandemic, we provide the new or used computer for the children so they can continue to their study. Even I did not have time to review every one of the feedback, but I just want to let you know that every one of you feedback are wonderful and very good. So Lin Weirong, she said that with a compassion heart and empathy, we provide the children a very good computer so that they can continue to learn. And now we can see the feedback on the Huang Sizan and Shu Li and Zhang Hao, the Jing promotion team. And many give their feedback on the brother Zhang Sizan. Because he talked about the Cai Bao Zhu, so many participants appreciate and admire Zhang Sizan's dedication. He said, while cultivating the blessing, brother Wang Sizan has been diligently reading the book from Master Zheng and cultivate wisdom. And Zhang Hao, who is a teacher of Jing's teen seminary, and she carried positive message like the spread love and the compassion, and people can eat with peace of mind. And we also have the feedback on the Masako's sharing, who promote vegetarian diet very aggressively and diligently in Saigon. And now we have the feedback on the Dr. Wang Yingwei from Tzu-Chi Hualien Hospital. He pointed out that the aging is a social trend that requires good health care, both physically and mentally. So thank you for your message. And now on the screen, you can see the feedback for Lin Yuru, who give us the sharing, talk about a story about the care recipient that they care for a couple years. We also need to give those big hands who give us the feedback from America, Canada, Mainland China, and Malaysia, Japan. And we also have the feedback from YouTube. So like Effie from Malaysia, she said that Sister Ting is talent, very precise in her sharing. Have always admired her guiding, reading, sharing. And the topic that she selected are always filled with Dharma teachings. So feeling joins, listen to her. So she said that Sister Xue Yu always can make a very good presentation on Master Zheng Yan's footprint. We also appreciate those messages received from YouTube, like Kewei Zhen again, and they appreciate that she is guiding reading. And then you can see, as usual, Elizabeth from Malaysia, she gave us a very good drawing, the picture of each speaker that we revise from online study group. And last week, we had a fan meeting about the Da'ai TV drama, the new drama. It's called the Wili Wu Zhao. The poster, the picture on the poster actually came from Elizabeth too. Thank you for your dedication. So now we go into the next section. We're going to call out.
And right now, let's go to Malaysia. Let's take a look at how they celebrate the Buddha Day in Malaysia. I want to show you. They show the specialty in Malaysia. What are you doing? We are making flowers. We are arranging the flower to offering to the Buddha. And they pick up the lotus from the pond, and I went to the Tzu-Chi elementary school. I went to pick up the lotus flower and deliver to Tzu-Chi elementary school. And every Tzu-Chi chapter have their own specialties. And now the CEO and the deputy director of the Tzu-Chi Canon chapter, and I have a very deep impression when I was there. They're in the Tzu-Chi chapter in Canon. It was very modernized Tzu-Chi chapters. And this is the CEO of Canon Tzu-Chi chapter in Malaysia. We see from the video that many Tzu-Chi volunteers, they work as a volunteer from they're very young with dark hair, and now they after decades of being volunteer, they become gray hair. And they have in Malaysia, they are very diligently in helping the needy, and there are many households they are underprivileged, and they are helped by Tzu-Chi chapters in Malaysia. And there's a person who's mentally ill. We sent him to the mental hospital. I was bad, so Tzu-Chi volunteer didn't want to talk to me. I didn't know how to repent to myself. The doctor taught me how to, when I was angry, I have to get away from the scene to calm myself down. Although we sent him to the mental hospital clinic, and it helped him because the professional doctors know how to give him guidance and taught him how to calm himself down. They took care of me. They took me to see the doctors, and they also helped me to make offering to chant to my ancestors. My ancestors don't worry about me. I am in good hands. The volunteer take good care of me. Why your rice, fried rice, don't have meat? Because I don't eat meat. The volunteer told me to become vegetarian. I came to Tzu-Chi to do environmental protection. I became vegetarian. I want to deposit, save up these coins to help others in need. That's we all united our effort to help this patient. He makes so many mistakes, but city volunteers are patient with him. And although he was sent to mental clinic for a while, and now after he was released from the mental clinic, he became a volunteer. We haven't been in Kedah branch for a while. I enjoy being with you because you have positive energy. Let's welcome Sister Meilan. Go ahead. Can you hear me? Very clear, and you look very pretty. Thank you. And let me start my sharing. And let me put up PowerPoint presentation. Can you see clearly? I'm going to start sharing. Dear Dharma Master Zheng and Dharma Master in Jing and all the Tzu-Chi families and friends from all over the world. I'm from Kedah branch, Tzu-Chi Merit Society from Malaysia. I'm very grateful that I have this opportunity to conduct the sharing of Jing's aphorism for all ages. Starting from year 2020, the pandemic has overwhelmed Malaysia. I always hear someone call me and always say that someone is confirmed as affected by the pandemic, and so we feel worried and anxious. Although I was very, I have fear too, but I cannot show my fear. I have to stay calm and unperturbed because I'm a Tzu-Chi volunteer. Many people depends on Tzu-Chi volunteer when they feel anxious and they feel worried. So how do I calm myself under adversity? I recall that Master Zheng say that a good word is a protection film of goodness. So although I'm not a professional, I'm not a medical profession, but I can use the a good word to protect us from the badness of pandemic. I hope to accumulate goodness to expel badness, the pandemic badness. And although we cannot go out from our house, we cannot open the door of our house, but we can open the door in our heart. The goodness is having the tug of war with badness. So where the pandemic overwhelmed the globe, the strength of badness is very powerful. So we started from the May 2021, we started to read out loud Jing's aphorism, and we use our cell phone, and every day continuously read out loud Jing's aphorism, and we send out to share in our group, in our social media. And after 2 months, we sent sharing Jing's aphorism recording audio to bigger group. And in May, we sent our reading to YouTube. The Read Out Loud group, we welcome all ages volunteers to participate. And we organize Read Out Loud, the topic and the schedule. The principal of Tzu-Chi school in Malaysia is also one of our volunteers. My job is to help volunteer to record their read out loud audio and add up pictures and photos and make their audio recording into video on the YouTube channel. And on May 13th, Tzu-Chi schools in Malaysia, we host a reunion with all the volunteers who participated in the Read Out Loud project, and meeting with little children who also participated in the Read Out Loud. That's very touching. And this year, we not only read out loud about Jing's aphorism, we also start reading books by authored by Dharma Master Chen, such as Life Economics, Mirror of the Heart, The Power of Mindfulness in Infinite Teachings, Infinite Meanings. Master Chen encourages us to use modern technology to spread out goodness in Dharma teachings, to do the sharing of Dharma teachings to the general public. Our Tzu-Chi channels, it's called Tzu-Chi Kedah Jing Humanity, and every video on our channel is about 1 to 3 minutes, about 1.1 thousand hours, and about 66,000 minutes. People are watching, and there are 55,000 people are click through rate, and there are subscribers, 317 subscribers, and we upload 350 videos on our channel. I recall the past two years, if I didn't participate in this Read Out Loud project, my mind wouldn't be so calm, and my life won't be so valuable. Master Zheng said, when our mind is focused and still, we have reached meditative concentration. Master Zheng's Jing's aphorism is the best remedy for the illness in our heart. Thank you, Master Zheng. Thank you, Tzu-Chi volunteer. Thank you for the past 2 years. Everyone follow Master Zheng, and everyone, we were busy at read out loud. We were busy at attending classes, and we were busy with praying, and we don't have time to worry, and we forget the existence of pandemic. Although we couldn't go out from the door from our house, but we can open up the door in our heart. And our time was so valuable, and our heart was very calm because we have the guidance from Master Zheng. And thank you. We are very grateful for Master Zheng. Your disciples in Malaysia, we put our heart in, we immerse our heart in your Dharma teachings by you and by Master Zheng, and we are grateful there's Jing's aphorism. It's very easy to understand. People of all age would understand the Jing's aphorism and help them in their daily life. Thank you, Master Zheng. Give us a blessing. We use Jing's aphorism read out loud project to help each other going through the challenge of pandemic. Thank you, everyone, and hope that you have good health. All of you have good health and peaceful and happiness in your life. We are very grateful that we are very touched that to hear Sister Meilan's sharing. During the pandemic, they used Jing's aphorism read out loud project and upload their video to share with the general public. And this is truly a great idea. And all the sharings of all the sharings are most of the sharings are Jing's aphorism. They also share stories, and also by sharing Jing's aphorism, they also share their how they use their Jing's aphorism in their daily life, and how the Jing's aphorism help them to calm their heart and their mind. And the general public with all age are welcome to participate in the Jing's aphorism read out loud project. And after they listen to her sharing, if you have any feedback, please upload and type it up on under the channel. And from Canada, and sister share feedback say that they are very wise to start this project to calm the general public because their Jing's aphorism is good words, and their heart filled with good words. Their mind will be calmed down and not anxious and not to worry, and their mind do not have any space to worry or to be anxious. And from Kaohsiung and city families from all over the world And let's return back to Kaohsiung from Kunsan. It's very grateful that we are able to listen to the great voice that sharing great knowledge and Jing's aphorism. Chen, where are you? Thank you for your sharing. I want to share my experience of overcoming the challenge of pandemic. I'm from Jiayi, Hanwen from Jiayi. Liu Chunzhi from Changchun. And teacher Meiwen. Thank you for your sharing, for your guidance. And so we need to make progress over time. Linda Pin from Northern California. Thank you. This is Huang is the person, the actor from the I drama, and also from Cai Shuhua. Thank you. Was the online study group from Kaohsiung spreading a positive energy. And thank you. Thank you, Sister Guan. And thank you, Sister Guan from the New Taipei city. And let's take a look. The fundraising, 42,000 lotus of flower. That means that 42,000 times 1 million. And this is the fundraising event continuously because there are so many people are suffering in the world. We need continue to do our fundraising to help the people who are suffering in the world. And because
气氛中充斥着病毒无所不在的不安。Then you got a itchy and scrub like a hand, so we have like a hand cream, and it is all blend-based elements. And if we are at the places without clean water, so this hand cream is very useful and protect your hands like from being infected or getting crap there. So this is the 3.0 version of our Da'ai hand cream with like a natural essence. It will just relieve your pressure, and all the income that we have will be donated to Tzu-Chi. Okay, and this is the love with our hand cream. So we will have the Da'ai technology, which is, always going with our modern world. And we also have the stain remover. And this is very, very useful. You can purchase at the Jing's bookstore. And next week, if you come over to Kaohsiung online study group here in the Jing's bookstore, then you will have this as a gift. We will give you the stain remover. So if you come over next week, then you will have it as a gift next week. So this is really useful. It can just clean any stain in your home. And the people who use it will tell me that this is super useful and this is eco-friendly. If you love our earth, and we can try this. So it is out of stock, but now we will have it soon. Well, and we don't need to have any power, but we need to influence people. And this is my motto that I created when I was 20-something years old. Because, I taught children in elementary school, so we are just ordinary people without any power. However, we can speak good words to influence the world. And now we have a lot of like a positive positive feedbacks from our teachers, right? And this is a positive feedback on June 15th. And we have it, okay, because this is kind of a super quick action. And because we can overhear, so we understand why I received a note coming here for a speech 1 year beforehand. And as I came over, and she said that she was just attracted by all the audiences right here at the Jing's bookstore, right? Well, this is the place, and these are the people that just really touched me whenever I came over here on the site there, okay? And learning that this is the worldwide book study, and speaking in different various languages, right? And she felt really, really surprised. Okay, not only that, okay, after the ending of our online study group, and she came over on the second floor and see all the staff there, and she was one more time touched there, right? Well, and she felt very surprised that, as an introduction briefly, and we played a lot of videos to just, let people know more about her. And she was really surprised and touched about this, right? And so we talked about some touching stories about her, and maybe she forget about that herself, but she felt very, very touched, right? Okay. And she also introduced a very, very touching, warm story about the Taichung Tzu-Chi Hospital. And Dr. Lin gave a wonderful speech about breast cancer last week. And it was, again, okay, very touching. And Zhimei also says that it is great that we have it, right? Okay. And a British writer says that everything may not have been happening if it were not written down or recorded. Okay, so as time passes by, if you don't remember it, and things will just be gone. Okay, and she says that we have to really be a wonderful a documentary, a volunteer, and just keep what is going on around us, right? And therefore, okay, she published the book, right? And she wanted to publish and promote such a good book to people, but because of pandemic, but she just couldn't, right? And now she got a chance to promote this a good book. Therefore, she also received a wonderful and positive comments, right? And she said that she was really, really grateful to our team. And now she is working on this, and she has been doing wonderful things to us, right? So she says it's great to have us, right, in the world. Okay, and now we also have Zhang Gan, and her topic is that let's have a pure mind. And she came over to the online study group on June 22nd, and she says that she was nervous because she just couldn't find a teacher Mei. Okay, and she was nervous, but finally there came some miracle and a surprise, because all right, she also met somebody there. Okay, and as she came over here, and she finally calmed down, and she felt wonderful, and she also heard a lot of good stories about all the speakers, right? And she just came down with tears because she was touched, right? And she learned that a lot of volunteers just finished doing something just silently, all right? And we also had Min Zhu, okay, and she says she had to just jump up to us, right, okay, and it is about teaching children, this touching story, and she said that okay, we will just be responsible teaching our own children, and this is really warm, and she heard a lot of touching stories from all the teachers, right, and she learned that this is a very sensitive and this is a very positive, like online study group, right? Okay, and after the online study group, and she was invited to go to the second floor and had pictures online with all the participants here, and she felt this is a wonderful, heartwarming service here, okay? And she really had a wonderful interactions in Kaohsiung, and she felt so happy, and this is kind of a rich and abundant one, okay? She said, okay, now actually it is sunny, warm, and we really have to really spread the great love through the world, okay? So all the speakers would just like leave like a wonderful records right here. So we have a lot of like records, like almost like a 60,000, okay, 60,000 words, okay, and we felt like this is a great honor, okay. And a lot of people says that, okay, they just can't be the writer or author of some publications, but they can also write on something and leave a great records to us, right? And now it's time that we are going to read the Mr. Zheng Yan's footprint, right? And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very, very young reader. She's young, and she received challenges. And actually, originally, she didn't have to be here, but she just took somebody's place today. And she just promised us, right, to read us the footprint. Okay, and whenever she receives such a mission, and she always say yes, no problem. And today, her topic is gonna be the cultivation within a group. Venerable Mr. Zheng Yan and all the volunteers, good day. And my name is Yuru. My Dharma name is Minping. And today we're going to be reading the summer part of the footprint of Mr. Zheng Yan. And my topic today is cultivation within the group. And we are social animals, and within our life, and we have to face a lot of people in our lives as we are born, and as family members and the working environment, and we go to the community. So we interact with people, and we play different roles with a lot of people. And are we playing the right role within our groups, right? And within the talk with Mr. Zheng Yan, Mr. Zheng Yan mentioned that we are from different backgrounds, therefore we have different habitual tendencies, right? So we have to spend a lot of time that's getting used to one another. Although everybody has a Dharma, has a Buddha nature, we have tendencies, we have different habits, so we have to learn to tolerate, right? And maybe we possess a professional knowledge and a personal experience. So whenever things happen, and we have our own thinking, and we have our own idea, so we carry on our own thinking and ignore about others' opinion. So this is the obstacle of worldly knowledge in Buddhism. And in Hualien, we have a Fan Lei in Hualien, and before he participated in Tzu-Chi, and he was a military office. And actually before this, and he hated Tzu-Chi, and he scolded on Tzu-Chi over 10 years. However, he was touched by the humble attitude about Tzu-Chi. However, since not going fine with him, right? Okay, he participated in Tzu-Chi, but he still kept his habitual tendencies. Let's take a look at this video. Oh, I was really arrogant. I thought I knew everything. And when I had just become a leader, I thought I could just run everything myself. I was arrogant. I thought I was a professional. I just get command, okay, like in the military. And when people didn't meet my expectation, I would be angry. So I would lose my temper. So although we still finish all the mission, but the volunteers don't have a good friendship, right? So I realized that, well, it's not enough to run it perfectly by myself. I need a team, okay? And if we can do this in a team, then we can get more people. So we will have a lot of positive influence on people. Well, I thought Tzu-Chi is a very, very insufficient group, I thought, right? And I thought that I can finish one thing. I didn't need so many people. So I always tried to minimize the manpower. But later on, as I gradually learned about the master's teaching, I understand that this is a field of blessings, right? And we don't want, okay, to finish one thing in a perfect way. We want everybody to participate in the good missions and good things, good deeds. Therefore, Mr. Zheng Yan, okay, when she was interpreting the chapter of skillful merit, she says, inwardly being humble is a merit, and outwardly being courteous is a virtue. If we are arrogant, and this is our failure in our cultivation. But don't be frustrated, and because the Buddha and us have kind of a wonderful affinities for many, many lifetimes, right? So we have to really encourage ourselves. So we need to seize the time and create good affinities in the world when we are here. So let's take a video. We must attain transcendence, then we must attain liberation. And when we must transcend, what we have to transcend is that don't possess the mundane perspective. Mundane perspective causes us to constantly compare ourselves with others and feel that we're more capable than others are. And we always focus on only ourselves. And this self will be inflated. And this is the understanding for mundane being. This is delusion. We are deluded about ourselves. So we constantly inflate our sense of self. And whenever we make more space for ourselves, then we reduce space for others. And if we inflate ourselves, but constrict and diminish others in the process, and do you think we will gain their love? Will we? Of course not. Absolutely no. And we must go among people. We must first gain their acceptance, and for others to accept us. And first, we must accept others. If we are not kind to others, if we are not approachable to others, to people, if we are haughty and arrogant, and who is going to be willing to get close to you, right? It's impossible. So the Buddha said, before we attain Buddhahood, we must first form good affinities with people. Every sentient being has their own habitual tendencies. And we must adapt to sentient beings' tendencies, the way in which we adapt to them, touch them, and transform them. And this is the practice of Bodhisattva. If we can endure our tempering among people, then naturally we will awaken our wisdom. For our afflictions will have turned into wisdom. Thank you, Mr. Zheng Yan. And actually, we face a lot of difficulties, and this is the cultivation. And now let me share you with something I learned from internet. With children, we cultivate our temper. With our a spouse, then we tolerate and we cultivate a toleration. And with parents, we tolerate filial piety. With friends, we cultivate our personality. So we have to just cultivate every moment whenever we face people. So we have to be like a neighbor's lighting Bodhisattva. We respect and let's just respect everybody. Thank you. My name is Yuru. Thank you. Thank you that you are reading with me. Thank you, Yuru. Thank you so much. And she is really young. And whenever we say, if you can take the responsibility shouldering the mission of a guided reading, and she always says no. She always says yes. She never says no, right? Okay. So actually, all the graphic designing and including today's a reading part, and she is doing wonderfully. And suddenly, there's something in my mind, right? Okay, right. Okay, so I always think that she's wonderful. So after listening to her like a guided reading, so would you please just give her some positive comments there, right? Then we have Lin Chen, and I don't know where you're from. Are you from Malaysia? Please let me know that, right? And she says hello to everyone. And Jing is in Beijing, and she says wondrous Dharma is in everybody's mind, but only Tzu-Chi people will just do it, right? And we have one volunteer says that let's be diligently and just work on the Bodhisattva background there, okay? And we have, volunteer from California, and Changchun Liu Chunzi says that, okay, Li Meilan in Malaysia, it is really wonderful, and she not only reads the Jing's Aphorism, she also put the Dharma into action, right? This is wonderful. So this is great that we also have the like a catch a phrase team there, and they not only try to catch a phrase, they also give us like a positive comments, right? And we have Liapo says thank you to us, right? And Lingling, and she's in Kaohsiung, and she says that Meilan's dedication really make everybody like a calm and the peace in Malaysia. And Shirley from Qinghai says that she says like thank you for Meilan, because we can absorb like a positive energies from her, and this is wonderful to use technology and spread the Jing's aphorism. And we have Chen saying thank you for this team, and we are working on the Bodhisattva path in the modern world, and this is a really wonderful entrance for us, right? And Lin Suyu says, okay, wonderful to the Taiwanese like interpretation team. Okay, I don't speak it well, but I understand the Taiwanese, right? So we are working on it, right? Morning Wen Tian says good to us, right? But the morning Wen, I don't know where you are. Thank you. All right, so now let's come back here, okay? And here we have a quote that says that no matter who you are in our team, then we would say to you that, okay, you don't need to be really professional and then you start, but you have to start to become professional. And yeah, it's 2022, but we are on the way to the like a graphic designing in 2023. And whenever our speakers give us their own topics, and our graphic designing team will just work on it for the posters. And now this is right, and we are working on the 2023 ones, right? Yeah, we are always ahead of time, and we need to work hard, although we are not a professional. This is our attitude, right? Okay, so here, everyone is here, so let's go, okay? And I really like this quote when I was a teacher in school, right? And now let me encourage you with this quote, right? Let's go. Believe yourself, you can do it, and let's work on it and make it successful. And now it is a catchy phrase, right? And catchy phrase team begins with like Tzu-Chi from New Jersey, and she is the CEO of New Jersey, and she guides a lot of volunteers in the United States. They not only write a catchy phrase, right? They also give us the like outlines every week, right? So every week then we will receive their like catchy phrase, and whenever I read this, and I'm really touched, right? Okay, because I'm in Taiwan and they are in the United States, so we are working together just for one mission, although we are apart in the world, right? Okay, and we really have a positive feedback. And let's go back from Huang from the United States, and she said about the online study gathering in 2022, and she says that okay, when she first time just participated in the online gathering in Kaohsiung, okay, in 2021 we didn't have many people because we only had the interpretation team of English, right? And now our group really grow very, very rapidly, and we have more than one language, and she felt touched, although she doesn't know every one of us, right? Okay, and she really feels that this is a wonderful blessing from Master Zheng Yan, and this is not easy, but we made it, and this is the sense of mission for us, right? And she felt very touched, and she's one of us, and she's honored. And she helped a lot and getting more and more volunteers, okay, to our team. And she's a really important person there. And let's, go to the catchy phrase, right? And wherever you are, okay, no matter you are here or not, and let's have a review. And we have a lot of missions last week, right? And we have yachts promoting vegetarianism, and we are very touched there. And we have also Zhou Ruixun from Beijing, and she said about Dominica that they have Tzu-Chi, and the Tzu really endurance a lot of pressure, all right? And we have Xue who is diligently and really smart at delivering the Dharma. And we have a Huang Sizan that remembers master's missions. And Su Li is 74 years old, and she is really diligent in promoting the vegetarianism. And we also have Zhang Hao Su Miao that produces wonderful snacks, right? And promote the vegetarianism. And Xiao Yayazi is really professional in interpretation into Japanese. And we have Wang Yingwei in Hualien, and she cares a lot senior volunteers and really professional delivers the great love. And we have Lin Yuru from Kaohsiung, and we really have a lot of good people in the world now. Now let's go to America. Okay, we have Tzu-Chi from Dominica, and just delivers the great love right in the world. And we have a guiding reader, Lin Yuru, that promotes the vegetarianism on the cloud. And we can learn everything, okay, whenever we are, wherever we are. Wang Sizan from China delivers the great love and the relief, disasters in the world. Chen Li, okay, she's, promotes the vegetarianism for 30 years. And we have snacks and tea from Jing tea ceremony. And this is a kind of wonderful ceremony there. And Sun Su Miao is promoting the great products from Jing's products, right? And we have a Japanese interpretation, interpreter Xiao Yayazi, and she promotes vegetarianism by offering delicious lunch boxes there. And we have Wang Yingwei, and we have Lin Yuru from Kaohsiung, and she gives a lot of scholarships there, and she also relieves disasters from the COVID-19. This is great, right? So let's give them a great big hand. Thank you very much. So catch your first team, then you are just more than wonderful there. Okay. And now let's go to two different speakers. And one is Luo Meizhu, and her poster is designed by Lin Xiaoni from Taichung in our designing team. And Du Yun from Taipei. And actually, Meizhu was here in our online study group before. And last week, I told her that this is kind of necessary for us, okay, because to just have you online because of the pandemic, right? Okay. And she says that we really follow up the Tzu-Chi steps, right? Okay. And actually, she is very senior. She is very senior in a voluntary. Okay. And the director, Chen will be also here next year because I invited her. And she said to me that it is 1 year. Okay, and let's take a look at the recap clips about Luo Meizhu. And we were helping the relief. I mean, we just offer our relief in Philippines. Okay, after Typhoon Haiyan happened there. Right? Okay, and this is a clip about that. Okay. So Luo Meizhu just participated in online study group before, and let's take one more look at what's going on about Luo Meizhu. Okay.
Okay, now you can see this is Master Zheng Yan's teaching. It's about the relief work that the Tzu-Chi conducted in Philippines after the Haiyan typhoon. So we offer the cash for relief, and we mobilize the local people to clean their house. And Luo Meizhu was there to provide the best care and love to the recipient. And she said that this is only a 9-year-old boy who has to look after the 3 siblings, and he also do the best, and now we can see that after the Haiyan typhoon, we built the Dalin village for the victims. So Tzu-Chi volunteers is far and wide, so we provide relief work whenever there is a disaster. This is a very touching story. And the villagers say that I request myself and my family and my children do not touch the bad habit. And now this is another video to saying that in Sanchong Jingseho, finally we have the daycare center. And it's the daycare center for the elderly is our main target, main goal that the Tzu-Chi Foundation promote nowadays. So next week, please come here to join us, because we have the Dao TV drama and the main characters. We also have the doctors from Tzu-Chi Hospital. So this video, Luo Meizhu is also a documentary volunteer. Yeah, Luo Meizhu is also a documentary volunteer. And then this is another video. It was September last year during the COVID-19 pandemic. People's life is getting tough. So in this video, it was telling us that the Tzu-Chi provide the daily necessity to a Catholic nursing home for the elderly. The speaker said that our life is getting tough because of COVID-19 pandemic, but we appreciate the Tzu-Chi's contribution. Those are the items that we really need. So you spread the love and spread the gratitude. So documentary volunteer Luo Meizhu make this. He devoted herself in international relief. From very young until now, he remained energy. So now we have to say the password. So we're going to connect to Sanchong. So let's say, I'd like to stay with you because you have a positive energy. Hello, good day, Sister Meizhu. We are so touched. Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Teacher Meiwen, and thank you all the families. Thank you to give me this opportunity to give me the sharing. I get online by 8 o'clock, and I already received so many positive energies. The teamwork at online study group is so touched. I needed to learn. I learned a lot from you. And you did a lot of homework to introduce me. And there are some videos I don't even watch it before. Thank you for your dedication and contribution. So today I'm going to share, the topic is to make a self-assessment on the value of my life. I really appreciate this picture with my grandchildren. Actually, I'm just an ordinary housewife with a special affinity. I walk into Tzu-Chi family, likes to find a light in the darkness. I learned a lot from Master Zheng and Jing and masters from Jing's abode. I feel I'm most blessed to hear Dharma teaching and find a mentor like a Master Dharma Zheng. So if I say I made an assessment on my value of the life, it's because I walk into Tzu-Chi family. When I had the first grandchildren, and I would like to give her a name, and Master Zheng said, the grandchildren is your daughter-in-law give the birth to your grandchildren, so you should respect her decision. Who give the name? And in Tzu-Chi family, I learned so much from all the Tzu-Chi volunteers. I'm not good at writing. So when I make a presentation, Sister Mei say you need to have some words to describe the pictures. So I'm grateful. Okay, so now let's go to the next slide. And I'm very touched with those pictures. They were our care recipient in old days. I'm very grateful because in the earlier days, I joined the free cleaning service with Master Zheng in the old days. The first picture showing a care recipient Huang Murong. And their family is a low-income family, and because there are some disabled person in the family, I was very touched on those pictures because the closest that we gave to the care recipient family, we measure their size one by one. So this is what we said, gratitude, respect, and love. I was really inspired by Master Zheng's spiritual cultivation and teaching. So when I follow Master Zheng to Yuli, I witnessed and Master Zheng comfort the care recipient and provide the relief and give them love. So when I back to Taipei, I would like to, I always share the story and share what I have learned from Master Zheng to the volunteers in Taipei. So this slide, so this slide, about 4 or 5 years ago, I personally visit the care recipient Huang Murong. I couldn't stop to hold my tears, and so after 40 years, I can still visit Huang Murong in person. because he received Tzu-Chi volunteers support as a long-term care recipient. And started from the year of 2005, he became a giver who donated $580 every month. Although he passed away last year, but his story is always in my mind. And that was the motivation and the inspiration, and led me to keep working hard on the Bodhisattva pace. And this slide, in 1972, the first commissioner Jing, Sister Zhimei, brought 50 donor members to Jing's abode for 3 days. So Tzu-Chi's first footprint in Taipei was started from Sanchong. So when I realized that it's a very good group, so I make a commitment to myself that I would like to promote and to talk about Tzu-Chi for the rest of my life. So start from Sanchong. And at my home, I always hold a gathering. And this is the chief of the global volunteers, Stephen Huang. And because the space is limited and it always crowded on the third floor of my house. So we always seize the opportunity and to hold a tea party or gathering. So to invite more people, hopefully to inspire more people to understand Tzu-Chi. I think that Dharma Master Zheng Yan's teaching is very important. So a tea party or a gathering at home is too small. We needed to go out to make an outdoor gathering. So everything we hold a gathering in the neighborhood. When I walked into the Tzu-Chi family, there was only 30,000 members. And Master Zheng Yan said that humanize the Buddhism teachings and bring the Bodhisattva into the world. So we decided to hold a big outdoor gathering to talk about Tzu-Chi. So we try to recruit more people to join Tzu-Chi. And then we start to bring both members and non-members to Jing's abode, maybe 3 person or 5 person or 10 person. And I always got the car sick, and it became very difficult to get the tickets, because we think about the people that we brought them to Jing's abode, they may turn into a Bodhisattva later. So purify the people's mind is the most important thing. And at that time, we don't have our own Jing's hall yet. So we always hold the summer camp in the neighborhood and to borrow the space from the school. So we started to hold a summer camp in the school. So like earlier, we listened to the Li Meilan's sharing. She also started from a very young generation. And then finally, we have our own home.
We finally have our spiritual home, and we finally have our spiritual home. And first, our spiritual home, we united our heart to build our spiritual home. I was touched and I was in tears. For so many years, we finally have a place where we could gather together to learn the Dharma teachings from Master Jing. On our Sanchon campus, 90% of decoration were all reused, recycled material, and we we truck vinyl floor from Sanxia back to the campus, and we 90% of decoration were from recycled material because frugal is the and thrifty is our Jingxi tradition. And 90%, over 90% decorations are used recycled material. Master Jing came to the Sanchong City campus, and this is a compassionate place where we train bodhisattvas from all over the world. And Master Jing helped us to build this campus, so we could by our vows and to purify this world. We could continuously abide by our vows to follow Master Jing's footsteps to purify this world. We cherish this place. This place is so magnificent. That is really our great blessings from Master Jing, and gave us this place where we in the past before we have this campus, we have to wander everywhere, sometimes renting from places to another places, and we never feel our mind were always wandering around. We never had a place where it could calm our mind down. And finally, after we have this city campus in Sanchong, finally we can calm our mind down, and it's a place where we could gather, not only volunteer from Taiwan, and also we could also gather and volunteer from all over the world. We could serve a volunteer internationally. We learned so much from volunteers from all over the world because they have totally different experience from what we have in Taiwan. Every time when I take every step I step on the campus, I always raise gratefulness in my mind. And this is over 20 years, and there's a crash, airplane crash, aviation accident in Penghu, Taiwan. And I was able to travel to Penghu to help out. And because of the Dharma Master Jing's teaching, I was just a normal, ordinary housewife, and I was able to be brave enough to help the diseased and help the suffering in the aviation accident in Penghu. And I heard someone say that when someone told me that you Tzu-Chi volunteer asked the survivor not to cry, but in the West, they would encourage us to cry out loud, so to release our emotion. And I told that person, yes, we Tzu-Chi volunteer do the same thing too. We offer our shoulder for the survivor and their family to cry on our shoulders to release their emotion and their sorrow. The procedure of the Tzu-Chi disaster relief have making progress over the time because of our past experience. And to identify the body part of the deceased, we also use over the time, we learn from the experience, we use some items that we found to identify the body of the disease. So we learn just so much knowledge. The more we participate in disaster relief, the more we learn. And there's a flood in Peru. It was my first experience to travel overseas to do disaster relief. I have traveled. Someone asked me how many countries that I've traveled to do disaster relief: Peru, Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, China, Jiangxi Province, Hubei, Fujian Province, Guangxi, Wuhan, Sichuan, Wenchuan, and Philippines, Thailand, and Laos People's Republic, and also Nepal, Cambodia. And I also traveled to Kaohsiung for the Morocco flood typhoon. And I'm very touched. I'm just a normal housewife. I have so many opportunity to travel internationally to conduct international relief, to form a great affinity with people who are in suffering in the other country. And the severe earthquake struck Nepal. I went there to do disaster relief too. There's rubbles everywhere, and buildings collapse in Nepal, and there are many people are injured. So team medical professions, they will travel to Nepal with us too. Because there Tzu-Chi volunteer and the cash for relief volunteer. They also Napoleon. They went to grocery shopping with us, and After the severe earthquake, we witness the love and kindness from Napoleon's heart. Although they are in deep sorrow, but they still willing to help each other. Although they are very poor, although they are poor, but they are still willing to help the people who are even in more dire need. And we assess the disaster. And an elder lady who do not want to live anymore because she witnessed her grandson passed away in the earthquake, so she lost hope in her life. We gave her comfort and encouragement. And no matter how far away the disaster scene is, if we could walk there, no matter how far away it is, we have to reach out and to offer our help. And in the international disaster relief, we have to utilize the local resources to help the suffering. In Indonesia, the rainy season often flood at the raining area. After they were settled down in the shelter, the tent shelter, but the pouring rain flooded the area of the shelter, and they have to run away. And when they run away, some of them even sleep over because they have to run away and move away to a place with higher altitude. They got all wet. And Sister Danny and me, we picked up flowers in the wild to decorate for the Buddha Day ceremony. So we guide the suffering to pay respect to Buddha. And the great enlightened beings in the Nepal, where Buddha was born, we were very touched to see the great enlightened being statue in setting up on the table, and so the Napoleon they could pay respect to Buddha. So I was in tears because I was very touched. This mother gave birth to this little baby during the earthquake, and she asked me to give a name to her son. I gave her son Great Love. The name is Great Love.
您还有5分钟哦。
我还有几分钟
？5分钟，5分钟。
好。
And this is the well that she left. Okay, and I always, do this, before I go anywhere. And now let's take a look about the Lotus Sutra according from Master Zheng Yuan. Okay, and this is the hours that I took my own inventory of my own life, right? Okay. And I have brought more than 1,500 volunteers receiving training courses, right? And now let's take a video. Take a look at the video.
导播从主场播哈，来 ，OK Go， 可以的。
I'm truly grateful as I came in. I saw so many volunteers gathering here. I feel Tzu-Chi is truly a big family, and it just keeps me warm. I heard them say, Master, these are the volunteers that I nurtured. My commissioner number is 395. I have truly devoted myself and wholeheartedly followed Master Zheng Yan. I heard the Master Zheng Yan's Dharma talk, and I feel grateful. And I have nurtured more than 1,000 Tzu-Chi volunteers. And I witnessed one seed can create numerous plants, right? And we really create the value of our life. Okay. And we will, just pass on this video to people. And I'm very grateful that we have a kind of good affinities with the Master Zheng Yan. So if you have a fast, right, and fast is everything, okay, that creates our Dharma lineage, right, okay, and let's show the Jing's mission and pass on the Tzu-Chi Dharma lineage, right. I'm very grateful that we have so many volunteers that follow up Master Zheng Yan's footprints, and we have a great affinities, right? And let's seize our every second, every moment in our life and form good affinities with people, and let's plant good seeds and do good deeds, right? Okay, so we can just spread the love, and we create a blaze, which means that we make people joyous, and we make ourselves joyous, and we can deliver and transform numerous sentient beings, right? Okay, and before we become the Buddha, attain the Buddhahood, and we form good affinities with everyone before this, right? Thank you for giving me the chance, and I'm so grateful. Thank you very much. Really blessed is that we make people joyous, right? So are we joyous to see Meizhu? If yes, I'll give her a big hand, right? And actually, we are touched. And you offer a lot of touching stories as an inventory of our own lives, right? And she is a wonderful person. And because all that she said is all about her stories, and this is her way of working on her own bodhisattva path, right? And if you put yourself in a really, really dignified position, and you look gorgeous and you look good, right? Okay, and actually from the image from the screen, and you see Meizhu always keeps her smile, and this is kind of a cultivation as well. So we see at any moment, at any time, and we should do something just like a Meizhu. And this is working in the sutra. And probably, I guess like a Meizhu, you also smile this way in your family, right? Okay. And you have cultivated this for a long time. And I know as we know that you just, go to like a good boy as a campaign, right? And relieve the love. Okay, I mean relieve like disasters, right? Okay, And if you really like this, and please give her a big hand. How old are you? Oh, I'm 72 years old, right? But you look like 27. You are not actually 72, right? Okay. We have a Taipei Jing in Kaohsiung saying that Meizhu is a great bodhisattva that shows up all the time in the disaster areas. And now she's telling about her story, about her experiences. And we really see and witness her inventory of her own life. And this is really touching. And we have Xiaoming from Yunnan, and she's a teacher. And whenever she has any a piece of time, and she just get online with us. And Liu Chunzhi from Changchun says that she is online with us, although today she is not on duty. And she says that, and we have Luo Meizhu really nurtured so many bodhisattvas and volunteers, right? And she is really kind of creating greater love and planting good seeds, right? And this is wonderful. And because Luo Meizhu also accumulates love and spread love, right? This is what she's doing now. And we have Nabir from Canada. And you haven't been with us for a long time, and she says something from YouTube, and she says this is a positive energy from Meizhu, and everywhere, okay, every time we see her, and this is always a positive energy. So we have Wen Daizhu from Hualien saying that this is a wonderful sharing from Luo Meizhu, and this is a great thing that we know that Meizhu is a great disciple of Master Zheng working on the Bodhisattva path. Okay, so now I'm always notified that I'm running out of time. Actually, as I saw it online, I find out that we have Tzu Guan saying that, and as I see Meizhu, and so many stories came into my mind, right? Okay, and I remember once she was in Thailand with us, right? And that night Meizhu couldn't find a hair dryer to dry her hair, and I remember that she used the fan. Okay, and this is just a story, and I don't know whether Meizhu can still remember it or not. All right. And we didn't, second story, that we didn't have a Jing Ho at the center at that time. So we invited a lot of volunteers from Thailand and Cambodia to there. And actually, Tzu Guan remembers so much, okay, about Meizhu. And this is why she is online with us. And I'm sure that she will just do great positive feedbacks next time in words, right? So thank you very much, Luo Meizhu. Thank you so much. Well, you are always young, and you are our role model. Okay, and some people say that the age you start to be doing Tzu-Chi deeds, and you are always that age, right? Well, I started doing Tzu-Chi missions as I was 28. Do I look like 28 now? Oh yes, of course I am. Okay, right. Okay. So now let's go back here. And we have some positive feedback with you. And we have Xu Xiaoming in Yunnan. And actually, she's a teacher, so she's always the recaps, right? And she is very grateful that we have Wen Jing in Beijing. And she can also hear stories from Cai Dalin. And she mentioned in 2018, and she had affinities as a voluntary, with the documentary volunteers and talking to Cai Dalin. Okay. And she just keep a greater distance, okay, when she had a chance to, had a talk with her. And because she's too famous, so she just couldn't get too close to her, right? And whenever she sees a Dennis Cai Dalin, spreading love in Mozambique, and she actually felt that she's really her supermodel, and super idol for her, right? Okay. And Master Zheng says that she wanted to turn, okay, Africa into the greater side. So therefore, Cai Dalin just began working on that, and everything just comes to like Xiaoming's eyes, and she felt very excited and very, very touched there. Good. And we also have Yu Jielong from Shanxi, China, and she mentioned that the Bodhisattva, I mean the volunteers in South Africa, and they really saved a lot of the children in hunger. And through this, like a guided reading, and we know from Dai Qingsheng that they really help the children a lot. Okay, and this is kind of touching stories here. And she also, he also learned that Jiang Gan has been there for over 12 years. And actually, she has donated like over 30 like honorary awards. Okay, and this is kind of a touching, right? And he also mentioned like Meilan that promoted the good book, right? Okay, and this is kind of positive feedback. And we also have Zhou Jingfen from Chongqing, Sichuan, China. And she mentioned about the touching stories about let's just educate our children by ourselves, right? And teacher Jiang Gang is selfish, and she gives as much as she can to find out the teachers and find out her own spaces in order to just let the children receive the proper education. And actually, they did a lot, okay, to the children. And the children should be loved. And she's touched that a lot of good teachers and principals will just receive those children and give them the good education for over 30 years, right? So she learns that the principal just like refer to her as a Mama Yu, okay, as a wonderful mother, although this principal had never been married in her entire life, right? Okay, yeah, okay. Okay, so Zhou Junfen felt very touched because students also refers to her as Mama Zhou. Okay, and this is really wonderful. And as a teacher, and now we have Andy from Mongolia, China, and she says that education is really a mission, very important mission in our life. And she talks about the professor in like a Tzu-Chi University, and this is about the habitual tendencies, and you will feel like a physical habits. And she also mentioned about the stories of Wu Chenyao. This is a teacher, and the teachers have been here for over 30 years and created a lot of successful cases there. And this is kind of wonderful to know. This is like a great experience, right? And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to a very special a unit, and this is melodious songs from Kaohsiung Children's Choir. And I'm very grateful that this is a very wonderful team. And actually, you will know that how old are the members of the choir here, right? And let's give them a big hand and let's welcome, Kaohsiung Children's Choir. Venerable Mr. Zheng Yan and all the masters and the volunteers from the world, and I'm Hong Li Ya. And here are all the young volunteers here in the Da'ai Kindergarten. And now let's appreciate the music that we have today. And this is a children's choir of Tzu-Chi, and it's been 30 years, and we grow up with everybody, and we cultivate not only ourselves by the like a great love education. And it's been 12 years, and we have started and received the Dharma altogether. And our choir really promotes the vegetarianism. And now let's hear their sharing.
学员们也从自身做起，现在就让我们来听听看他们的分享。
Ladies and gentlemen, and I am Susan, and this is wonderful that we really have to adopt a vegetarian, and therefore I had a communication with my parents, and I tell my parents that I want to eat a vegetarian diet. So I vow to eat a vegetarian diet, and everything begins from me. And I vow to take a vegetarian diet, and I promote also this to my parents. And in school, I tell my teachers that I don't eat meat, right? And my parents just changed their mind, and they accepted my idea, so they cook a vegetarian meal for me. And after my grandfather's funeral, and I also, tell my grandpa that, okay, Grandpa, you are an angel, so I think, my vegetarianism will also help a little bit. And ladies and gentlemen, I am Zhang Tingwei, and taking vegetarian diet is a behavior to protect our earth. And let's just protect the animals, because this is very harmful if we eat their bodies, right? And Mr. Zheng says we need to eat the gratitude meals. We don't eat like daily meals, right? So if we take a vegetarian diet, and it has many advantages, so I want to promote it. And thank you for the children. And all the children, they are vegetarians, and they know the knowledge, so they now put them into actions. Now let's go to their parents' opinions. And my child just participated in the children's choir since grade 6, and my girl now is grade 7, and they are a young volunteers here, and she is always oppressed by her teachers, right? And Guanqi, the brother, okay, actually is one of the choir members, right? And they can actively now, okay, help people and create a sense of responsibility. And they just do things through tiny behaviors in their daily life, right? And now they are more and more harmonious, right? And now they are very willing to step out of the comfort zone, and they get into the Tzu-Chi Senior High School. And this is very, very wonderful. I'm grateful to the choir that offers them a chance to get involved in the good activity. And I am the mother of Chen Yu, and now I'm very honored that I'm a team leader actually in the choir, and I showed some responsibility and put Mr. Zheng's teaching into action. And every time when I see children grow up here in the choir, and I am very, very happy. And my husband actually came over to the Jing for the first time, and also his last time in his life, right? And the Chen Yu really received a lot and very much, right, in here. And I'm Zhang Yahui, and I'm Xinyun's mother. And actually, I choose to make my daughter Tingwei to eat vegetarian diet, right? And I just can't imagine that when she just went back to the Jing's abode, and she vowed to Master Zheng that she would take the vegetarian diet for her entire life, right? And whenever she sees her own like snacks, like with a tuna, image printed on the pack, and she saw that it is not a vegetarian snack, so she refused to eat that, right? Okay, and actually this is a very, very good seed, and this is a very positive and very great thoughts in her mind. I think she cultivated such like good things, right, within this choir, and now she has a really, really good attitude, and she can just like have a good communication with me. Also, she is in her like a teenagerhood, right? And Mr. Zheng Yan says that we have to do good deeds and be filial to parents around us, right? And we have a chance to just experience all the teachings in our daily life, right? Okay, and within this children's choir, and we can just like sing, and we can just communicate with all the people there, okay? And they learn to shoulder the responsibility and take on the missions, and so my children really grow up and they really spread the great seeds and the great love, right? Thank you for all the sharings, right? And here are the choir, and we really turn all the like boring like Jing's aphorisms within games into games, right? And now we will just list all the Jing's aphorisms here. I mean, just a part of it, and children will have to finish the Jing's aphorism afterwards, right? And if they get the answers right, and they will just get a card, right? And this is their reward. And it's interesting, right? And we also have one more class, so that is the cup song, right? Okay. And we have Zhang Manting and Zheng Yuanhao. They compose the song and the melody. And of course, this is very difficult for them, but they know that they have to overcome difficulties, but not overcome by difficulties, right? Now let's appreciate their composition, their works.我不知道。And we just cultivate all the like a sense of responsibilities, right, by ourselves, right? And now let's welcome the leader of our choir. And actually, you can just share this. And it's been 30 years for our Kaohsiung children's like a choir. Thank you, Master Zheng Yan, that creates the Tzu-Chi world. And I really want to give my best regard to all the children that can just benefit everyone. So we really sincerely invite you to our like a music concert, okay, in like this month, which is July 22nd in Kaohsiung Jinsihou. And you are more than welcome to send your children just coming over, be part of us, right? If your children are from grade 3 to grade 6, and And this is wonderful, okay? And we will just always remember Mr. Zheng Yan's teaching. And now we will have a wonderful song that is The Guest in the Cloud. I love the online study group on Wednesday, and this is wonderful. We have the catchy phrase, and we promote the good Dharma, and we don't see you because we are all in the cloud. And this is wondrous Dharma, and we see all the Bodhisattvas, and the good words is the only way, and we promote joy, and we feel touched as well. And we are all the invisible Bodhisattvas because we are online. And everyone is diligent in cultivating the Dharma. And we know this is like a wonderful Dharma body. And this is wondrous like a Jing's Dharma lineage, right? And we can just cultivate our wisdom endlessly. So you can sing with us. And I really love the online study group on Wednesday, and every word is precious. And we receive like positive feedbacks online. And we don't see you because we are the guests in the clouds. And now let's go to the part 2, and let's sing it together. And my favorite, like an online study group on Wednesday, and every word we say is precious, and we receive like positive feedbacks online. And I don't see you because we are the guests in the cloud. And this is wondrous Dharma, and we are the Bodhisattvas here. And speaking good words is the only way for us. And we feel joyous, and we feel touched here. And we are the invisible Bodhisattvas here. Everyone is diligent in walking the Bodhisattva path. And we have the wondrous like Dharma body, and this is what like Jing's Dharma lineage is all about. And we gain our wisdom life in an endless life. And this is my favorite, okay, on Wednesday to go to the online study group. And every word we say is precious, and we receive a positive feedbacks, right? And we don't see one another because we are in the cloud. We are the cloud. We are the guests in the cloud. Thank you, everybody. So good. My best wishes for you. So come together and bow to everyone. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you. Wonderful to the Tzu-Chi Children's Choir. Okay. And let's take a look. And because it's been the 30 years for their choir, so they will just have some kind of activities in July and August. And they say, okay, adopting vegetarianism from you, from me. And this is a very, very important mission of education. And we are so blessed that we have them with us here. And because this is, the end of their performance, so the children feel so happy. And I want to say that you're wonderful. And Guan from Canada says that, okay, and with the songs that we spread the love, and this is kind of a good seeds, and the good seeds must be planted in children's mind. So Kaohsiung Children's Choir, you're wonderful. And Cai Pijuan from Kaohsiung says that it is wonderful to hear your beautiful voices, and we also feel touched trust that we have you as a vegetarian with us, right? And the volunteer from Hualien says thank you for your songs, right? And they are so happy to hear the children's voices. You are wonderful. Okay, actually, Jing also says that a little Bodhisattvas brings us the wonderful voices, right? Thank you again very much, right? Through the Tzu-Chi children's choir, and it's been the 30th anniversary, so we really want you to be with us, right? Okay, and we only give them 15 minutes. I know this is not enough, right? And actually, let's go to the cloud. I mean, the guest in the cloud, right? And let's say thank you to Jing as a composer of the lyrics, and the music composer is from Yang Zipu, okay? And now let's have some positive feedbacks, right, online. And actually, we will have it, okay, in 2023. And now it's our activity, exercise time, ladies and gentlemen, and let's have some stretch ups with us, right, ladies and gentlemen. So please stand up and let's do some exercise and then stretch yourself.
我们请轻轻的站起来，我们一起来运动一下，活络筋骨哦。来，我准备踏步哦，会唱的都一起唱哦。来，踏步，踏步，嘿，有精神。眼尖哦，眼尖向上。
脚并用脑体操，你丢我捡难不倒，化废为宝功一巧，街头巷尾人人好。
准备擦镜子，
擦镜子继续哦。
眼尖，
就是康健身矫健，儿童目明显品显，环保志工跑在前，社区关怀不落后。苗师连连苗连边，
擦镜子，
刺激999，刺激999，
来，擦镜子再一次哦，
刺激999，
对，点尖，
老当益壮胜青年，百儿志工下脚，常照手牵手，心安自在快乐活，刺激999，
来，踏步1、2、3，来。
是少年来宝，手脚并用脑体操，你丢我捡难不倒，化废为宝功一巧，街头巷尾人人好。
不要擦镜子喽！
刺激999，
对啦，这就对啦，再一个，
刺激999，刺激999，
来个点尖，
就是康健身矫健，儿童目明显品显。环保志工跑在前，社区关怀不落后，苗师连连苗连边，
跟我们同方向哦，跟我们同方向哦。
刺激999，刺激999，
再来，
刺激999，刺激999，
点尖，
老当益壮胜青年，百儿志工下脚，常照手牵手，心安自在快乐活，刺激999。
踏步1、2、3、4，拍手，大爱日常，来，慈济长照健康多，慈济长照快乐多。接下来邀请我们的香怡师姐为我们来带动一首很柔美的歌。
是的，轻轻拿下你的甜甜圈，
拿起来。
是谁爱漂亮点来伸展？深呼吸，手伸直，很好，慢慢放到前面，手要伸直哦，不动，右手上来，现在开着手是直的哦，对，我们的肌肉来。
时间会证明。
来，缩进来，扩胸，推出去，往上，再收回来。啊，对了，丢，加油！
着泪水走过了曲折，都被回忆铺成了
呼吸，扩胸，右手来，右边水，左边，哎，就是漂亮一点，来伸展，很好，往前，来，上身向后转，回来，换手，再一次换左手。向后看，哎，梅老师转得很过去哦，不要输给他，好呼吸，来，转一圈，再一圈，来手重新开始开车，哎，右手上，左手上，
看什么都是风景，
手一定要伸直哦，大家一起动一下，很好，来，扩胸。推出去，往上，收回来，再一次推出去，往上，对，深呼吸，来，右手，很好，来，换左手，来换右手，你的右手，啊，给它转得高一点，往前，身体向后转。换手，来换左手，大圈，雷老师加油！哦，对，很棒的，来，身体转2圈，要很美哦。啊，换个边，换回来，再一次啊，秋季嘞，要笑一笑，来，云手，左手，没关系，拉高右手。回来，换左手，对，很好，再一次你的右手，画大圈哦，同一次画大圈，哎，往前，身体转身，很好，换手，哦，很好，深呼吸，1圈，反方向1圈。往上，深呼吸，啊，很好，慢慢放下，来一个漂亮的 pose， 谢谢哦，都很能 Q 哦，太好了，谢谢，慢慢的请坐，
慢慢的，非常的感恩哦，非常的感恩。好，我们回到简报里面，我们看到的是中部会说以爱化爱，让爱传出去哈，就是对于6月8号的时候，我们曾国藩教授的一个分享的时候，也让他的满满的感回到讲到了2006年他回花莲培训受证，也到大舍堂去参访，所以对我们大一王还有大体老师这个部分的呢，其实他就是满怀的一个感动哈，亲自的去参与其中，而我们觉得他呢，就是40年来这样的一个状况呢，能够依然可以呢保持这样40多年来刚冒孤独这样的一件事，让人家感觉到生死相许这一些事哈，所以让生命里面呢很连同每一个生命的故事才能够去感受到哈。所以吴宇良是在这边宽广没有边界的一个爱，没有疫情在这个部分哈。所以经过15年听到了曾教授这样的一个分享，爱从不狭隘，深受感动哈，所以非常感恩姚时金师姐跟谢文清师兄的这样子陪伴他们。那在这边的云南昆明的杨天成说，爱从不分国界哈。那他讲到的是有关于他在这边每次听到很多实际的一个歌曲的时候，他就觉得整个是很有能量的哈。那觉得疫情带给整个世界是很巨大的一个改变，但是慈济人呢就是用平手往前走，带给很多世界的一个温暖，所以非常的写下了这个3小音。我们云南漳通的小明他说，通 同理心培育爱也是6月8号对于曾教授这一个部分里面，他其实特别提到的是曾教授说，教育上我们经常鼓励要认真读书，求得好成绩，然而这也关系到间接鼓励的一个贪婪跟赢的一个想法。如果你6月8号有听到就可以知道哈，所以医学教育的一个精髓应该是要同理心的一个培育，在这个地方哈。所以从这一堂课呢，他让他回忆起2017年11月第一次回到花莲近视近视学生的时候，有机会参观了慈大的大爱楼。当时就是对于当时有老师带他们一一去参观，并且让他们讲述一个无语良师的鲜活的生命的故事，当场的家人们没有一个人不流泪的哈。所以呢，这个也让他回忆起2017年这个部分。而我们重庆的尹大伟都来自3地的一个感动、也是感激跟震撼哈，就是讲到6月8号的时候，我们的澳洲的雪梨、澳洲的黄金海岸的林师兄，他去介绍我们澳洲那边的事业，他们用各种一个方法，然后去推述，无论任何一个机关团体，他们就是想方设法就是融入哈。然后姚师姐跟介师兄他们呢，功力四射，即便在北京的时候呢，他们架设的就是两岸3地，然后呢架设了4部的电脑，然后4部的笔电，然后4部的手机，同步就是要串联这样的两岸3地。然后在这个当下里面，曾国环教授介绍了无语良师这一在台湾40年的一个过程里面哈，所以慈济大学老师呈现的就是一个圆满的人生，有爱，从不狭隘哈。所以接下来我们第2组的讲师出席哈，这位是年轻的医王哦，他也是我们慈大毕业，你看帅帅的师赞哈。那这样的一个文宣是由谁来做的呢？其实我们要祝福，就是文字是有赝品，赝品已经往生了，但是我还是不愿意把它从这个地方拿掉。他写下来的哈文字，然后美编的部分是高雄的陈家志师兄。那我们来看一下哈，这位年轻的医王哈，新闻不多，但是令人感动。我们看一下哈，其实这是叫疫情期间的时候，那疫情期间的时候，其实你可以看到就是也有小朋友染疫，然后这时候呢，我们的医护这部分呢，其实是有把这种同理心，你看。给他们的这样子的一个玩具，然后去陪伴好，那他们并且呢都是消毒好。那接下来我们就会听到我们今天要即将上线的Dr. Wang， 他怎么去讲？因为他其实是有同理心的哈，所以我们可以看到，就是我们大林寺院在这个部分，让我们来听听师赞怎么说。
越大女婴和6岁女童确诊，每个人只想着怎么样帮得上忙。前来支援的医师家里也有2岁女儿，他感同身受。
刚来的时候，因为他10个月大，就想到说他妈妈其实已经分开几天了，因为家里自己也有小孩，就觉得这其实会蛮不舍的这样。那来的时候确实也是活力比较差，看起来他身材是比较偏小的。进去房间之后，看到妈妈看到他的时候，觉得妈妈也快要哭的感觉。
收到惊喜礼物，小朋友一拿到就开心的玩，纯真的笑容让为父为母的心瞬间温暖起来。大新闻嘉义大林综合报道。
所以这一件好事呢，当然呢，上人来的行脚到嘉义的时候，一定要让上人知道这一份的温暖，而且。妈妈其实是
感谢慈济医院，有你们的帮忙，才有现在的我们。
4个多月前，当时
好，这则的新闻其实刚刚一样的一个新闻，可是呢，在上人来的时候，实在就有这样的一个机缘去跟上人去分享哈，所以将心比心。那实战其实今天跟我们去讲的部分，其实是我们现在非常关怀的。而他本身，你稍微去Google 他一下，他其实是我们慈大的孩子，但是他其实身体上是有病痛在。之前因为这样一个疼痛，所以让他投身在这个领域里面多了解，也呢将心比心来解决很多人的一个病痛哈。所以现在我们要透过通关密语到大林慈济，然后呢一起来遇见我们年轻的医王，我们一起说：我喜欢和你在一起。因为你有正能量。好，师长好，非常感恩师长今天上线哈，来，
师姐好，大家好，
是，
请问听得到声音吗？
可以非常清楚，是
We can hear you very clearly.
清楚吗？
可以。
Can you see the PowerPoint?
吗
？Yes.
对，麻烦全荧幕。我们看疼痛新解方哈，我相信这一个一定要很多人去让更多人去知道。
We need to make
请导播画面。
know more
呈
about
现的画
this
面可以注意
new
一下吗？导
treatments
播，
for aching
现
muscles.
在先 check 主场嘛。好 ，OK， 所以还是在你并没有出现的，你个人没出现，你出现的是2个都
But the
是
doctor did not appear.
啊，对。
And the
我们要
person,
看帅
okay,
哥
now
医
we
生
can see
有没有
him
帅
now.
有哈，
The handsome doctor,
非
Wang
常的感
Sizan.
恩哈。好的，那您可以开始分
And
享
thank you for being here
了。
with us.
是。
全球的慈济人，然后商人，大家
Hello
好，还有高雄的
everyone,
师兄师姐，
the
大家好。
master and
我
all the
是大
sister
连慈济风湿
brothers
免疫
from
科
the
的王思赞
Kaohsiung.
医师。
I
那
am
虽
a
然没有办
doctor
法到高
from
雄的现场，不过
大林慈济
我们
Department
大连
of
的风湿免
Allergy
疫科其实每个月都
Immunorheumatologies.
收到高雄的师兄师姐
Actually,
的慈
every
诚义德的
month
关怀，
receive the
也一直非常的感激。
concern from the Kaohsiung's
那
brothers and
今天的话，
sisters.
跟大家分享的是
And today I would like to share with you a new treatment for the aching muscles. If you have an aching muscle, other than taking painkiller, what else can you do?
那首先呢，我想要分享的是一个
First, I would like to share with you an actual case. He's a 24 years old medical student, and he suddenly suffered from the lower back pains. And this patient himself is a tennis player and also a long-distance runner. At first, he did not care about it. He thought probably just muscle strength and just get some rest, it will be healed. But the symptom did not change. It's getting worse and worse. As a medical student, he has more medical knowledge than the others. And he started to sense something wrong about it, and he might need to seek for the medical help. Because the patient is practiced in the hospitals, so maybe he doesn't know lots of the people, but he knows lots of the doctors. So when he's seeking for help, all the staff in the hospital all try to help him with all kind of examination and testing and the treatments. And the patient are starting from the internal medicines and orthopedics and rehabilitations, and then taking x-ray and gave him medication. He took his medication. He also did some rest and stopped exercising and did some stretching at home. And the patient applies for all the doctor's order, but the back pain has never changed and even getting worse and worse. Sometimes after a couple hours of sleep at night, he will be awakened by the pain, and he even had to crawl himself to the toilet. And it will take minutes for him to get out of the bed. So finally, during his internship, he needed to use the crutches to get to the hospital. And because he knows lots of the doctor in the hospital, so he even did an MRI check, but we can still find the reason for the illness. 2 years later, from the free movement person into a disabled persons. For a 20-something years old young person, it's a great impact for him. It feels like your life is about to start and your body is not. And even seeking for the medical help from the Chinese medicines, even the acupuncture or the chiropractics, and also the full massage, you can tell that he's very desperate. Anything he could try, he already did it. But every night, he still cannot get a good night's sleep because of the pain. Until before graduations, he has a very severe eye inflammations, and he went to the doctors, and the doctors can see that there's something wrong about it. It's called uveitis. means your vision will be blurry. It might be the rheumatology problems. So the doctor suggests him to go to the rheumatologist. Until now, I went to the clinic and finally I was diagnosed ankylosing spondylitis. It's kind of an immune system's problems and it will affect your eyes and your bones. And the students, you might able to guess that it's myself. During this process, about a couple years to find the real cause of the disease. And the process is so torture and painful, but actually it is a great gift from the gods. And this process also did a great impact on me. The first impact is I chose to practice in immunorheumatology. Take good care of yourself in order to take good care of more patients. And because I was been through the disease, I can understand the patient better. Even though when you were actually been there, then you can understand the illness is really out of control and how that feels, and I can really understand that. I know I have been through that when I heard a patient complaining about their pain. I was been through that and I can understand. And the second impact is back to my doctors, certain doctors. It was referred by all the other doctors, the famous doctors, like orthopedics, rehabilitations. And after 2 years later, I was finally find out the true reasons. And when I was practicing the clinic, lots of people had the same experience as me. Like because of their chronic pain, they were wandering around in the departments. They don't know where to seek for the help. And sometimes the doctor will think that you might have a psychological problem. You actually need to see a mental doctor. This is saying when you have a hammer in your hands, the whole world looks like there's only nail left. Just like for the specialists, usually they are very specialized what they are good at, and you have a hammer. But what you can see is only what you are specialized in and ignore the other problems and refer the patient to the other doctors. So when I step into my specialties, it's not enough just to solve your own specialties. Lots of times the pain could be caused by multiple reasons, not just that rheumatism will cause the pain. It can combine with the other nerve or the tissue that will cause the pain. Okay, a soldier has no right to choose the battlefields, and the doctor cannot choose what kind of disease to treat. So what we can do is to provide the good tool to solve the patient's problems. We don't want to just have hammer. We can have the other tools that can help to solve the problems for the patients. Okay, the following, I would like to tell you some good tools that can solve the aching muscles. The first will be transcaster arterial embolizations. It was in a Japanese doctor himself is radiology, and he discovered it surprisingly when he was doing the operation, vascular embolizations. And through the caster, they can block the cancer cells. So after the therapies, the patient tell him that her frozen shoulder is all heals. And the doctor did some research. Before we saw that a joint pain is, the problem is all about a joint, but some of the pain could be caused by some abnormal capillary vessels. You can see from the pictures, the arrow, those are capillary vessels. They are not the normal vessels. And when you're suffering the pain, this vessel will appear. If you use a microcaster to inject some medicine in there to block the vessels, the pain will be healed without any other medications. And this microcaster is very thin, with a diameter 0.6 millimeters, and is as thin as your hairs. So through this microcasters into the affected area, such as your shoulders or your ankles, and to all the affected area, and we inject some medicine in there, and the medicine will block the problem vessels and can solve the problems, the pain problems. And this arterial infusion treatment can be used on the frozen shoulders or the tennis elbows. As long as you have aching muscles, you can use it. The benefit is the wound is very small, and it won't damage your tissues, and speedy recoveries, and it can last long, and you can back to your normal life right away. And within 1 week, you can feel the difference. Actually, lots of patients, like our volunteers or the long-term workers, when they come to me, their finger already degenerated and deformed, and it is sometimes irreversible, but during the degeneration, it was still swelling and pains, and they took the oral medication, but it's not really helping. And when this oral medication is not functioning well, we will do the nerve hydrodissections, and we can achieve the treatment. And this is the actual operations. Through the finger arterial, we inject the medicines, and the medicine will flow all the way to the abnormal vessels and block it. After a while, the vessel will be extruded, and you can solve the painful problems. And without the medication, the pain could be healed as well. And the second is called nerve hydrodissections. Usually, because the nerve was compresses, they will cause a soreness, hurt, and numbness. The most common one is the carpal tunnel syndrome, like mothers or hairdresser or chef, because they overuse their hand. And there's a nerve in the central. It will control your feeling. And when the nerves went through the ankles, it will strengthen. It's just like your neck is strangled. So the nerve becomes ischemia and hypoxia, and will cause the numbness. The traditional treatment is through the operation to cut open the affected area to decompress the nerve, but the wound is too big and slow recoveries. Lots of patients, they feel hesitated, and oral medication did not function very well either. But now, through the ultrasound, we can inject it around the nerve and decompress it. And some the size of the wound is only the size of the pinhole. After the therapy, just press on the wound for 3 minutes. You will come back to your normal life. And this is a real operation during my work. And he himself is a chef. So he was diagnosed as a carpal tunnel syndrome. And through this nerve hydrodissections, we can release the nerve compression. And you might feel nervous that I'm looking at the patient while performing the injection but staring at the screen. As you can see, there's a white line in the screen. That is the needle. And right behind the needle, there's a nerve. So through the ultrasound, I can see the real things, and it won't damage the nerve. And you can place the needle precisely next to the nerve, and you can perform the injection. Perform the injection next to the nerve and without damage the tissues, without operation, and you also can achieve a very good effect. And this is Tzu-Chi sisters, and she was referred from the other doctor. Herself is a patient from the carpal tunnel syndromes. Last time when you drive to Taichung, drive to Dalin, he just cannot drive well because of her pain was hurting. At first, we don't really know each other. She was referred by the other doctors, and after the treatments, I realized she is my mother's old colleague. There's an old saying that to meet the right doctor is a blessing for the patients. To meet the right doctor is not only the blessing for the patient, it's also the blessing for the doctors. Just like if I did not meet the eye doctor refer me, I would still suffer from the back pain and seeking for help. Lots of times, the famous doctor might be the right doctor, but the right doctor might not necessarily to be famous. And during the past years, lots of time the patient it really take faith for the patient to meet the right doctors. In Dalin Tzu-Chi, we established the sports medicine centers. We also have some patients from the professional baseball team. We cooperate with this professional baseball team. And the right side is from the Weiquan Dragon. They invite our president to be there. And just think about this professional athlete. Actually, they also suffer a lot of pains. They have to take medication before the contacts. So even as people as strong as them, they still suffer from the aching muscles. And through this treatment, we can minimize their pain. Also through the ultrasounds, other than that, we can also inject the hyaluronic acids to smooth the joint. And we can also inject the high-dose glucose or the platelets-rich plasma to help repair the fascia around the bone. We're not only to treat their joints, we have to also treat the ligaments. So we will strengthen the ligament and make those degeneration ligament can regenerate it and stabilize the bodies. Other than the above method that I mentioned about the TAME hydrodissections, platelet regenerations, besides that, we also have a strong physical therapy team and a sports coach. Because doctor can only find out what's wrong with the patient and treat it, but other than that, it's just not enough because we make the patient pain-free, but the patient did not change their habits to live their life, use the wrong force or the wrong postures. Lots of them, the syndrome will come back again. From the from the very beginning, they have to learn how to use the proper force and the proper posture from our physical therapist. If the patient have to carry something heavy, and we have to teach them how to posture themselves, how to use the right force. This is what we call prevention is better than cure. We have to prevent it from happening. And when it happens, then we will, through the doctor, to perform the injection, and through the physical therapist to help them recovery. And also in our centers, we also have this red rope. It's just a very special suspension system, but it's actually used to strengthen your core muscles. And when you still feel the aching muscles, because you have to use your from the center muscle, we can strengthen that, and we can push the force into around the muscles. So stronger on their heads, we can push the force on the head to toes. And we can use this equipment to strengthen their core muscle and the fascia. And this also is a good tool to help us how to use your muscle, how to use the right force. And this system can awaken your core muscle and straighten your fascia. Just like I said earlier, a specialist could only focus on their specialties, and their vision is very limited. But right now we are trying to using other tools to help the patient ease their pains. So we actually need a great team to solve the problems all together. So in our sports medicine, we have neurologists, orthopedics, Chinese medicine, and rehabilitation, physical therapists, and a sports coach. So for your aching muscles, besides taking medication, you can also have other options. So I'm the doctor from the Dalin Tzu-Chi Rheumatology departments. I'm so happy to be here and share my experience with you about the new treatment for the aching muscles. We thank you for Dr. Wang. So what I'm curious about is the is the picture. It's the picture in this. He was taken by the red ropes. It seems like it's very difficult, but as you can see in the picture, his waist was supported. And what you need is to use your core muscles to support your own body. So you can really fix it yourself. Anyway, this one looks like amazing. It looks like it's very difficult to do it. And this is a very good system to relieve the pain. And what about your own condition? Are you so we all know that Dr. Wang is totally healed. Sometimes, lots of times, the patient think they also have the ankylosing spondylitis, but the doctor did not think that the patient has that disease. So through the trainings, hopefully I can heal myself. I wish the pain can get away from all of us, and we will stay away from the pain and stay healthy. And this is really an amazing suspension systems, because you were been to that disease. So that's why you can also understand the patient's feeling better. We admire you and we really appreciate you. And thank you for Dr. Lin for coming here. Let's say goodbye to Dr. Lin. Dr. Wang. You can still leave a message.
Alright, next is the topic about let's do charity work with compassion. And here we also have some feedback online, and they love the Sister Luo, and also they like the voice and of Xinyin, and also promote vegetarianism. And also the audience from Hong Kong, they also admire Sisters Bodhisattva works, and always be humble, and they are really the role model for us to learn from. And like the daughters to present in the world. We also have feedback from Zhimei sister that this is a good stage for the child to sing the songs, to present their beautiful voice, and also promote vegetarianism, and to help people change their diet habits. So, and that's really helpful. And this is a good affinity for the children and the parents to enhance their human ability. And also, thank you for all. And next, we are coming back to the topic of let's do charity works. Let's see a video first. Okay, carry out aspiration. That's my first mental care recipient. I hope to share them with the positive energy learned from Tzu-Chi. And from the beginning, she's actually unable to step on the ground. She felt blue, and because of the home visit, we hope to help them become cheerful. If people, suffering people cannot come to us, we must go to them. If they then down the sufferings, they are blessed, and they can help more people. Tzu-Chi volunteers actually help her ease her mind and also enhance the sense of security. When she's ill, it's really hard to describe how her feeling changed. Because of the monthly visit of Tzu-Chi volunteers, she wanted to present her best performance. So she worked really hard to make progresses. She's done her best, but I believe she'll even be better in the future. And she also hopes to help others with her strengths. With the compassion of Tzu-Chi volunteers, I feel like they are just like my family, and give me encouragement. And last year, the end year raising ceremony, I was in a wheelchair, and the Jing masters encouraged me to walk to the ceremony next year, and so I have to talk to my body every day, and I do so. I usually take a walk to like 20 to 30 minutes walk before taking shower in the evening. And my goal for this year is to work with Ken to the end-year blessing ceremony. Step by step, I will make it. All right, then next we are to welcome sisters from Hongshan. And this care recipient was reached out in August last year, and she had been suffering from a stroke for 2 years. She couldn't move freely, so she actually missed many gatherings with relatives and friends. And in the beginning, she's unwilling to talk to us. And we, with the Dharma Master's teaching, we should treat care recipients like a family with sincere care and concern. So whenever we visit her, we always share the life stories and our own experiences. We also bring her Tzu-Chi monthly to encourage her. And gradually, she's open-minded and willing to chat with us. And on October 21st last year, and we found that she's not in good mood because her husband wanted her to go to the daycare program for more exercise and interaction with people. However, she felt that her husband was going to abandon her. So we actually told her that we think it's good for her to go to the daycare because she usually rests in small room in her husband's company, thus with less exercises. So encourage her to try instead of rejecting it. Maybe start like 1 day a week at the beginning. And gradually she accepted and went to the daycare. And now she doesn't go to the daycare because of pandemic. She still follows the program to do exercise at home and has greater trust in our care team. And yeah, we are really grateful. Hi, everyone. I remember during the first visit, the care recipient felt blue and had no interaction with us. Her husband talked to us. I understand that she couldn't be free from the suffering of illness. And we shared Jing's aphorisms and the life stories of restoring health to encourage her to continue the rehabilitation. And with the company of care team, she gradually became cheerful and was willing to talk to us. With the companion, in addition to the encouragement and love from the team, there was a good affinity. And last year, they were invited to the year-end blessing ceremony in the community, and they were actually very touched into tears. And she's more confident and willing to work hard for rehabilitation. She told us that she will participate next year-end blessing ceremony on foot. And one visit, she could dictate her foot without assistance of her hands. I was very moved. And since she's making progress, I feel true Dharma joy. And the sincere company of our team can really help people in suffering out and embrace hope. Hi everyone. This care recipient doesn't need financial aid, but she expects care and love from Tzu-Chi volunteers. At the very beginning, that she actually felt blue and was unwilling to talk to us. But step by step, that because of our deep sincerity, she's no more anxious and defensive. Gradually, she felt easy and to join the conversation with us. And in addition to her daily life and feelings, she even grumbling. She also talked about the rehabilitation massage pressure is too much from her husband that made her painful. And we felt that she had treated us as family, and we are touched. And after a while, she told us that visitation is really a happy time for her. We also rejoice to meet them, like seeing friends. Especially her progress is really a great encouragement to us. So this is really a cycle of goodness. And we are grateful to be Tzu-Chi volunteers to work on the Bodhisattva path, see and witness of goodness. Thank you. So even we have limited time, but the stories and the companions of Tzu-Chi volunteers are really warm. We are really grateful, and this topic is especially for the Kaohsiung team. Even the time is limited, but we still really grateful to the stories. And with their encouragement and blessing, we hope this care recipient will work to the end blessing ceremonies. We now have some positive feedback from online audience that are grateful to Master's teachings. We need to respect others to practice. And also we wish Zifang getting better soon. Because initially it's Zifang to guide the reading, but but because she doesn't feel well, so we have Sister Yuru to take that job. And we're thankful for all the audience with messages online. And please press like. And also after this program, we'll have all the records here. Even there's only a few hours, but we can still see all the messages there. And for language, we have five languages interpreters online today. So thank you so much. And this is our Jing's Lotus and Lotus Sutra, and also our very good Jing's products. You're very welcome to take a look and buy from Jing's Taipei and books. And also Jing's herbal tea. Welcome to purchase and to enhance your health. So in the very beginning, we've been taking Jing's herbal teas
It's really easy and convenient, and this is Jing's booster energy powder. And it's really especially good for patients. And recommended by the superintendents. And yes. And this packaging, the turmeric with black pepper, that is offering special discount right now. So don't miss it. And preview for next week, we'll be connecting with a brother Liu from the CEO of Tzu-Chi, Singapore. And we'll also have connect with me, brothers from Nepal. And the next week, the Dharma, the Da'ai drama, we teach Wu Zhao. Yeah. Welcome to be here to meet with the Sister Wu Zhao in person. And for the actress Yang Guimei, she'll show up today. So next week, through our interviews, we can understand the story in depth, and it's very popular at the moment. So let's spread the news for people and and try to share. And also we'll have a superintendent, Dr. Jing, to share with us next week. And he'll be here, so it's an opportunity. And July 20th, we'll also have Zhang Henjia, the Vice Superintendent from Tzu-Chi Hospital. And so, still, welcome to join us. And join us every Wednesday morning. And we offer many language options, so you can share with your friends, your families, no matter what kind of language they prefer. So stay with us and share with your friends. I'd like to stay with you because you have positive energy. There's only hard work, only working hard. We may not necessary to have power, but we need to have a positive influence. So let's work hard for the good future. And thank you all. Let's say goodbye to Dharma Master, Jing's Masters, and all the audience online. All right, thank you.